Alex Hormozi, one of the best entrepreneurs on the internet, recently broke the Guinness World Record for the most amount of non-fiction books sold in a space of 24 hours. 2.7 million copies, netting him over $82 million in revenue. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how he did it. First and foremost, Alex Hormozi, in my opinion, is one of the good guys. He's one of the greatest creators in the entrepreneurial space. And I say that because there's a lot of disingenuous, very manufactured personal brands on the internet. I'm not going to mention the names of these people, but I'm sure if you thought hard enough, you could probably conjure up a few. Because of his very authentic, very natural, humble, genuine approach, Alex has been able to build some pretty astounding businesses. From Gym Launch to Prestige Labs to Acquisition.com, he's built a couple of empires here. Now, on the surface, many people would just think that Alex is an amazing entrepreneur, which granted he, in my opinion, is one of the best out there right now. However, something that people tend to overlook is that Alex is also a very intelligent creator. Blending this both entrepreneurial intelligence, but also creator intelligence, putting them together, in my opinion, makes Alex one of the greatest of all times, or the GOATs in the entrepreneurial space on YouTube. Now, I've seen a lot of breakdowns of Alex Hormozi's record-breaking book launch, and a lot of people dive into strategy and email marketing and positioning and offers and wording and sales tactics, and that's all great. But in my opinion, that is such a small part of the equation here. What a lot of people don't factor in is that Alex has been building his brand and creating on the internet regular content since the 20th of July, 2018, and this was his first video.
Hey guys, I wanted to show you something kind of cool, a little bit of a humble brag, but yeah, so I'm opening this gym in kind of the middle of nowhere.
What you cannot discredit, and this is hands down a fact, okay? You cannot discredit that Alex has been building his brand, creating content, building his authority on YouTube, creating regular content on the internet to build trust and likability and rapport for almost a decade on this platform and on the internet in general. And that, in and of itself, is why Alex is so good. He understands things that majority of creators and most entrepreneurs, and that really is the crux of why Alex has been so successful with this book launch. He understands things that many entrepreneurs and creators don't factor in. We live in such a short-term thinking society where people are focused on the next 8 to 12 weeks, the next 2 to 3 months, as opposed to the next 2 to 3 years, the next 20 to 30 years. Alex understands the psychology of spending more time with people, and over decades and decades and decades, they have that level of reciprocity and that level of rapport that allows him to reach these Guinness World Record breaking sales moments. It's incredibly smart. It's incredibly smart. All of this over the last 10 years, not just the last year in terms of building his funnels and sales systems, and whilst they have been an integral part of this strategy in this Guinness World Record breaking moment, it's the discipline and it's the consistency and it's the routine. It's that militant-like do the thing regardless of how you feel, regardless of who's watching. You're building your business in a point where people aren't cheering you on from the sidelines. People don't even know you exist. A lot of work has been done in the foundational years when people didn't really know who he was, and that's amalgamated to where he is today. My thoughts are that people need to spend an average of 7 to 10 hours consuming your content before they are ready to make a purchasing decision. They're ready to buy your products and services and give you their hard-earned cash. The likelihood is that the more that they watch in terms of content, the better your offer becomes over time, the more money they're going to spend with you. I've seen this pretty much firsthand with my own 3 businesses that I've built over the last decade: 321, Odyssey, and now the Content Club. Go and check the Content Club out if you don't know what it's all about. Link in the description. People who go and watch my short form stuff for an hour or two may spend £400 on a consultancy call because they perceive me as the expert that's there to sort of help them solve a short-term problem. But back in the days when I used to do project-based work, I used to run a video production company called Odyssey. People would spend £50,000 with me because they'd consumed our marketing, our content over 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 7 or 8 years down the line. And that is what Alex, as an amazing entrepreneur, but also a very intelligent creator, understands. It's not about those moments of fleeting attention and viral posts in the short term. It's actually about the longer term game plan, something that many people don't think about when it comes to marketing or building a business. Spending time with people over decades, that is largely what has attributed to him where he is today. And this is emphasized through how Alex conducted the live streams and the marketing material for his book launch. In the 3 days that he was launching his book, he did 7 to 10 hours a day live streaming to people in his audience who might be ready to buy. If the rule is 7 hours, well, Alex has just tripled that, if not quadrupled that, over the last 3 days. People are in a position at that point after consuming the content to go, wow, I trust this guy, I like him, he's talking a lot of sense, his offer makes complete logical decision. I'm going to purchase his books. And that's exactly what happened. Because of the trust that Alex has built over the last almost decade of creating content on the internet, over 1 million people signed up to the waitlist to consume these lives and over 500,000 people attended them. That's insane. He managed to get people into a room where they knew they were going to be sold to, they knew they were going to part ways with their money, and that's a very rare occurrence. If ever you've done discovery calls or a pitch call or anything like that where you're talking about what you offer, people are reluctant to jump on that because they know it's part of your sales funnel, it's part of your sales tactic. But because of the almost decade of rapport and trust built, people are willing to give him their time because they feel like they've got a relationship with him to invest into being sold to. Can you just kind of see why I think this is crazy? It's amazing, very, very clever, but crazy. And I've been thinking about this a lot recently, especially if you're a freelancer, if you're new to the world of entrepreneurship and you're starting your first or second business and you sell a physical product or service. It's good to align your expectations with realistically, you're not going to get a one-hit wonder. It's very unlikely you're going to build a course or a cohort or a community or build a digital product or a SaaS tool or a physical service and in a month of marketing, suddenly it's going to sell out. That's not how the world works. It's not going to happen. It is not always about all of the work that you've put into marketing your business and getting the word out and building a waitlist and getting loads of people on a newsletter and telling them that this date is when you're going to launch stuff. It's actually about the decades and the years of legacy and reputation building and rapport and trust that you are generating with your audience. A lot of the work in building a business and having a successful launch like this, a Guinness World Record breaking non-fiction book launch, is done 5, 6, 7, 8 years before you actually get to that point. That's what so many people miss. Now, of course, outside of what I've just gone through, which I think is the most foundational part of this that nobody is talking about, there are 3 tactics and very clever ways that he has also launched his book. And you can learn this and maybe you can do the same for yourself. Number 1, he had an incredible, and I do mean incredible, email funnel. Genuinely, from someone who joined this email funnel, it was one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen. Every time I opened up my emails, especially on the sort of launch couple of days that it was building up to, it was a landslide in my inbox. Every time I opened my inbox, it was Alex Hormozi, Alex Hormozi, Alex Hormozi, Alex Hormozi, Alex Hormozi. It was overshadowing every other email that I received. A really great creator that I look up to called Perspective.co has actually done a really well done deep dive into the finite and the specificity of how this actually works. Go and check it out, link will be in the description. And a second mention here, there's actually a great creator called Greg Eisenberg who also created this video, which is much more conversational. It's still a deep dive into the email funnels and the messaging of things, but it's a little bit more chatty and less tactical deep dive, just more general conversation. Here's what I think is really good. Again, link will be in the description, go and check it out. His emails are such an important part of his strategy. And for you, that means to own your audience, not just create content on social media and hope that the algorithms push it to the right people. You need to pull the right people in and have them in a space that you control. Bring people to a newsletter or bring people to a waitlist or an email list where you can push content to these people, know that it's been delivered to them, and that they're consuming your content. That's a really great tactic to start to implement if you haven't done already. The second tactic here is urgency. Urgency is one of the most powerful things that you can have in your marketing. Every email, every link, every post that he put out had some level or form of timely offer. For example, his emails at the bottom would say something like, click this and you can get X amount of free days in my school community for free. What was also really clever here is that rather than discounting some of his products, he would actually do what's called value stacking, which is where the perceived value of what you're purchasing increases. For example, if you're buying a book that's a tenner, if you then add this free thing on top that's worth $297 or pounds, the perception of value massively increases. That then creates that level of urgency because if you're going to buy this book, now you get all of this free stuff with it as opposed to not being on the launch, buying it from Amazon for £15, but not getting any of the other value outside of that. So there's a sense of urgency there. Even emails mentioning the time until the event start, they were happening a lot. You know, it's 24 hours before the event, it's happening in 4 hours, guys, make sure you're there. It's 60 minutes until it starts. That creates that level of, I need to watch this, I'm gonna miss out if I don't. The really crucial thing here is that if you give people time to make a decision and you let them purchase your product or service on their own accord, the chances are it's going to take them significantly longer in their buying journey to make that purchasing decision. But if you give people a sense of urgency or a timely offer, or you value stack something that you can only get on this day, the chance that they go over and convert into a paying customer and give you their hard-earned money is going to be massively increased. I notice this all the time when I market my community. I mentioned that the prices go up every 20 members. When we hit 20 members, I say, right guys, prices are increasing in 4 weeks' time. We get 20, 30 new members in that 4-week period because people don't want to miss out on having to pay more for the same thing. Again, it comes down to urgency. What I do just want to mention very quickly is that this is not negative pressure. This is what's called positive pressure. Okay, Alex positions the value and the offer and the value stacking and not discounting the product, which makes it feel cheaper, in a very positive way. It makes you feel motivated and inspired to take action, as opposed to go into a corner and not want to participate. And for you running your own business and selling your own products or services, it's more about thinking, how do you start to add that level of timeliness? How do you start to add that level of urgency into what you sell? Is there a discount? Is there a way that you can value stack what you do? Is there a benefit or a plus that you get for joining now, i.e. join my community now and you'll get a 1-hour consultancy call? Something like that. And last but not least, it goes without saying that Alex's offer was one of the most powerful tactics I've ever seen. The offer in those 3 days was buy one book for 30 quid or buy 200 for £6,000. The benefit of this is that you don't need 200 books, so you can give them away to your friends. You can share it with other people. You can contribute to their lives by giving them this value. And because of that, the offer goes from buying a book to you are investing in a charitable donation. So that charitable donation is a tax write-off. Very clever positioning. It was a tax write-off that was 100% tax deductible. Companies hate paying tax, okay? Chances are they'd rather have 50 grand spent on stuff that is tax deductible than having to give £50,000 to the tax man. I know I would. So the offer was not buy my book, it's actually a way to bring your tax down whilst getting value as a charitable offer. Very smart. What Alex has done here is he's changed the perception of value. It's not just a book with 300 pages in it that's gonna help you to do X, Y, and Z. It's something that can also be beneficial to, lower your tax, to give back to people, to support people in your network, which again intrinsically ties to you as a person. If you're giving your books away, you want to be seen as this person as giving value as well. So it's more emotional, ego focused, which taps into all of the decision makers in businesses. And for you, that means possibly reframing the value that you get, how you talk about the value. For example, if you're a consultant or you're a coach, people don't just get an hour in the diary with you, they get a sense of clarity. They get a sense of confidence, they get a sense of being and a complete mindset perspective shift that's going to change their life forever. That's not just an hour's call, there's so much more value there that you can talk about. Now, I do underplay these 3 points. I think they are very important tactics and you can implement them into your own business, but I do still believe at the bottom of my heart that the reason Alex has done so well is because he has been doing it for so long. That's it. It's not often about being the best in the world at something, it's about doing it for the longest. It's about doing it for longer than your competitors and other people in a similar niche can't withstand to do, because it's tough. Running a business is hard, marketing your business is tough. Those moments where you're not getting sales through the door, but you have team to pay, or you have staff costs, or you have a mortgage, you have your own family to think about, is terrifying. And very few people can go through that period. So people try and find short-term quick wins that ultimately don't help to build their brand, they just build short-term fleeting moments of success. But actually what people need to do is start to change their mindset around how long am I in the game for? What's the game plan for the next 5-10 years? That is where the money's made. That's where legacy and reputation are built. Alex's world record book, non-fiction sales thing has been built since 2018. I'm gonna say that, okay? He's done a few book launches before, they've done really well. And that value and that positive experience has stacked on top of each other. His first book, $100 million clients or leads, I can't remember what it was. His next book, $100 million X. People have had a positive experience throughout their buying journey. And it makes sense that the third one, the big one, is gonna be even better. So it's been built over almost a decade of building rapport, building trust, building legacy, reputation, likability, authority, credibility, insert buzzword here. But I'm trying to say that it's not a short-term thing. It's not a tactic that suddenly you can implement. Suddenly you've done the same as Alex Hormozi. It's years and years and years in the making. It goes without saying that Alex's content has been mainly video-led for the last decade. And if you want to get started with video, but maybe you feel a little bit confused or you're not sure what you're doing wrong and you want some feedback on how to improve it, I will leave a link down below to a 35-minute video starter pack that will just get you into the mindset of things that you might be doing wrong or things that you can improve on with your own video marketing. Go and check it out. Links in the first line of the description. I'm Jack. I've worked with over 400 brands, created videos professionally for the last decade, and my mission with my YouTube channel is to help you become a much more confident video creator. And two ways that you can do that. The first is to check out this video right here. It will teach you to make better videos and become a more confident presenter. Or you can click this channel right here, go and subscribe. There's almost 1,000 of us now, which I know is going to take this video a little bit, but I'm super excited to have you guys here. I appreciate the support that I've had on recent videos, and I'm looking forward to you watching more. So until then, I'll see you in the next video.